We're coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios. This is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories making headlines this evening.
It is our commitment to international law and the United Nations Charter that informs our deep concern and action of the United States in Venezuela.
ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned the United States of America's invasion of Venezuela and the capture of its president and his spouse to face charges in New York. Meanwhile, the Freedom Front Plus says the ANC cannot speak on behalf of all South Africans on Venezuela or foreign policy. And the National Student Financial Aid Scheme has confirmed that it received close to 900,000 applications for funding from students across the country. At the back of those headlines, it has just gone 8 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on 3. My name is Paulette Noel. Thank you so much for joining us this evening as we bring you up to speed with the latest. Well, with that said, let's get straight into it, beginning with this. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned the United States of America's invasion of Venezuela and the capture of its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his spouse to face charges in New York. The reports the leader and his wife pleaded not guilty yesterday in their first New York court appearance. They are facing a narco-terrorism conspiracy charge as well as drug and weapons charges. Addressing the SACP's 31st commemoration of Joe Slovo's death, Ramaphosa emphasized that South Africa stands with the people of Venezuela.
ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has pledged the party's solidarity with the people of Venezuela and President Nicolas Maduro, who has been arrested by the United States of America. South Africa was also among the nations that called for the United Nations Security Council to meet yesterday to formulate a position on the violation of the UN Charter by the Trump administration. The head of state and ANC president has called for the immediate release of Maduro and his wife.
It is our commitment to international law and the United Nations Charter that informs our deep concern and action of the United States in Venezuela, which has undermined the territorial integrity and sovereignty of a UN member state called Venezuela.
SACP General Secretary Solema Paila accused the American government of acting like a law unto themselves and bullying other nations.
The USA has attacked and invaded 70 countries since 1947. This is a butcher state, it's a rogue state, a terrorist state, yes, a criminal state, a mafia state. The worst is that now a moron is in charge, is in power in the most powerful country in the world.
Ramaphosa warned that the SACP's decision to contest this year's elections alone could cost the alliance state power. He reminded the party that despite their disagreements at the moment, they have common interests. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Addressing the media in Rustenburg Northwest, the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula also emphasized that the U.S. move is in violation of the UN Charter and cannot be allowed.
Security Council must take action and against the United States of America, not to impose itself on other countries as a world police, as Donald Trump is actually doing right now. We are dealing with a person who decides the fate of countries, like countries are banana republics. We have resolved to work with all the progressive forces in our country and mobilize against the American imperialist aggression, including against our own country. Konemelda and what he expresses is not a view that is shared by the progressive forces in South Africa.
Meanwhile, the Freedom Front Plus says the ANC cannot speak on behalf of all South Africans on Venezuela or foreign policy. FF Plus leader Dr. Cornea Mulder has welcomed the recent U.S. action against the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, describing his government as illegitimate and responsible for widespread human rights abuses. Mulder says the critics of the U.S. have remained silent for years while Venezuelans endured poverty, regression and a deepening humanitarian crisis. He has also accused the ANC of hypocrisy, citing its handling of international law in the Omar al-Bashir matter and its stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The FF Plus says Durko's move to take the issue to the UN Security Council was a unilateral ANC decision, not a position agreed to by the GNU. In more related news, the political fallout from the United States military intervention in Venezuela continues to deepen as Washington faces internal divisions and Caracas moves to consolidate power following the capture of President Nicolas Maduro. In Washington, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefed members of Congress on the operation, while Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has vowed to return home as the country's legislature and interim leadership were formally sworn in.
Speaking to Fox News, Machado, widely seen as the most prominent figure opposing Maduro, welcomed the U.S. intervention and said she plans to return to Venezuela as soon as possible.
First of all, I'm planning to go back to Venezuela as soon as possible. As I've always said, Sean, every day I make a decision where I am more useful for a cause. That's why I stayed in hiding for over 16 months, and that's why I decided to go out, because I believed that at this moment I'm more useful to our cause, being able to speak out from where I am right now.
Machado, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, says her movement overcame state control of Venezuela's electoral system through civil society mobilization, despite being banned from contesting elections. Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer warned the administration's plan for Venezuela lacked clarity and raised concerns about U.S.-led regime change.
When the United States engages in this kind of regime change and so-called nation building, it always ends up hurting the United States. I left the briefing feeling that it would again.
As Venezuela navigates an uncertain transition, analysts say the crisis reflects broader geopolitical tensions, with questions now mounting over sovereignty, legitimacy, and the long-term consequences of U.S. intervention in the region. I'm Botlali Pile, SABC News.
Global markets, including the local JSE equities, appeared to follow the United States cue from last night, trading in positive territory. It's seemingly business as usual on the markets despite uncertainties stemming from the U.S.'s recent military foray into Venezuela, while Brent crude ticked up from yesterday's levels, trading around $62 a barrel. Market analysts are of the view that in the short term, there are unlikely to be any oil supply disruptions as a result of the situation in Venezuela.
The US's recent military escapades in Iran, Nigeria and more recently Venezuela are putting the world on edge. And following the attack on Venezuela, US President Donald Trump suggested that Colombia and Mexico could even be next. The once global protector role that the US assumed appears to be fading fast, and with this, trust in that country. Viv Govinda, portfolio manager at Rand Swiss, expects this to translate in different ways on global markets.
What it means for markets, and this is important, is that people are going to be much more willing to look at things like gold as an alternative to the US dollar as a reserve for your country. That's why you see the gold price, the platinum price, the silver price. Have you seen the silver price go up dramatically over the last little while? The platinum price has done it more than 2.5 times since I think April. The silver price almost two times up since April. When you look at gold, and gold has also done quite well in a period of time. But that's because people are looking for reserves that are not US controlled.
The term Pax Americana, Latin for American peace, has long been used to refer to the relative global peace, stability and prosperity the globe has enjoyed since the end of the Second World War, with the US having taken the lead in promoting free trade, democracy and cooperation. Part of that role has included policing international waters in the name of global peace. which has been a boon for international trade over the past several decades. Nampumelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
And on that note, let's look at your latest market update as recorded at 7:30 this evening. Welcome back. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme has confirmed that it received close to 900,000 applications for funding from students across the country. Over 700,000 were first-time entry applicants. About 600,000 applications have already been approved, while 49,000 have been rejected.
Student funding is under the spotlight. The NSFAS board outlined funding preparations and the number of applications that have already been processed and approved.
We have processed all 2026 funding applications prior to the start of the academic year as committed to by the 31st December 2025. We received a record of 893,847 applications, a testament to the scale and importance of our mission. Of these, 593,981 applications, which makes up 66.45%, were submitted by female applicants.
The 49,000 applications have been rejected mostly for not meeting the household income threshold requirements. The scheme says it received about 12,000 loan applications from the so-called missing middle.
I mean, if you just look at the statistics, 12,000 loan applications versus 800 or close to 900,000 bursary applications. So the uptake does seem to be low. I think there is work to be done.
Tertiary institutions are urged to respect key deadlines and update their online portals to ensure a smooth administrative process. Patricia Fasahi, SABC News in Pretoria.
All right, let's look into this now. A 47-year-old foreign national has been arrested and 10 teenage boys have been rescued in Malberton, south of Johannesburg. Police were alerted to a group of 8 half-naked teenagers walking on foot in the area. Hawks spokesperson Katlego Magale says upon further inquiry, officers established that the teenagers were foreign nationals who could not speak English.
Was later intercepted along the street, but the driver fled, resulting in a high-speed chase which ended in Commissioner Street with the subsequent arrest of the suspect and the rescue of the 2 half-naked teenagers. The suspect will appear in the Boysens Magistrates Court on Thursday, the 8th of January 2025 on charges of being an illegal immigrant and suspected trafficking in persons. Further investigations are underway. The provincial head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation in Gauteng, Major General Ibrahim Kadwa, lauded the multidisciplinary effort displayed by the team in the combating of trafficking in persons in the province.
The lawyer for the man accused of the murder of Warwick Stock, also known as DJ Warras, says the state does not have evidence against his client. 44-year-old Victor Majola appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court, where his case was postponed to Tuesday next week. Majola is accused of the murder of a popular media personality who was shot and killed outside a hijacked building in the Johannesburg CBD last month.
The gallery was filled to capacity as the accused, Victor Majola, made a brief second appearance in the dock. Warwick Stock's family was visibly shattered at the end of the proceedings.
My heart's racing. I'll be honest with you. How do you describe how you feel? You know, it's like a shock. You don't know. He is the accused. We have to wait to see. You know, we're innocent until proven guilty.
Majola is charged with the premeditated murder of Stock, a Schedule 6 offense. However, Majola's lawyer believes the state does not have evidence against his client.
That particular lady actually denied in front of the police in my presence that she made a statement implicating this particular accused on this matter. So as far as the concerned, as of today, that is the only linkage that the state has on these accused. Except for that, there is no other evidence whatsoever linking this accused to this particular crime.
Mabunda also confirmed that Matola received medical attention after he was allegedly assaulted by police when he was arrested last month. In custody pending his next court appearance. Lerato Makula, SABC News in Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. South Africa is experiencing a La Nina weather phenomenon characterized by above-average rainfall. This is expected to support production in the different subsectors of the agriculture industry for the 2025-26 season. Agriculture economist Wandile Sihlobo says the rainfall has been supportive of summer crops like maize, sorghum and sunflower and will likely lead to bumper harvests.
South Africa is experiencing a La Nina weather phenomenon characterized by above-average rainfall. This is expected to support production in the different subsectors of the agriculture industry for the 2025 and 26 season. Agriculture economist Wandile Sihlobo says the rainfall has been supportive of summer crops like maize, sorghum and sunflower and will likely lead to bumper harvests.
If you're thinking about the field crops in South Africa now, grains and oil seeds as well as the sugarcane production, the excellent rains have assisted a great deal. And you will recall that the South African farmers intended to plant about 4.5 million hectares for summer grains and oilseeds. I think they were able to achieve that, and that area was up 1% from what they planted in the previous season. The previous season, which is the 2024-25 season, it delivered an excellent crop. We were able to have a second largest maize harvest.
The livestock sector has large grazing fields, reducing feeding costs, a welcome relief as the sector had to deal with animal diseases like the foot and mouth disease. Claudia Safakomusi, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Polokwane Executive Mayor John Mbe has visited the water purification plant in Seshego, Limpopo. There's following lots of patients presenting with symptoms of gastroenteritis, including diarrhea and abdominal pain. Residents suspect water contamination. They drink tap water provided by the Polokwane municipality.
Residents are hesitant to drink tap water. They have sought medical attention at hospitals after presenting with symptoms of gastroenteritis. This includes diarrhea and abdominal pain. Residents say the tap water is visibly not clean. They have resorted to buying bottled water.
The water supplied to us from Seshego and Polokwane is unsafe and is making my family sick. Early in the morning when we need to use the water, it is often brown and dirty. The water supplied to us has been making me sick for weeks. Whenever I drink the water, I experience severe stomach pains and diarrhea, and I struggle to sleep because of the discomfort.
Municipal officials say they are taking the allegations of water contamination seriously.
The Department of Health released its own statement following extensive monitoring and investigations. And the department has confirmed that it has found no link between municipal water supply and the reported cases, as I have alluded to.
Mpe, who also drank water from the tap at the Seshego water treatment plant, has urged the residents to remain calm. He says the water is safe for human consumption following intensive tests. Amkoke Chomodao, SABC News, Seshego.
Well, with that, time now to check in with the weather desk for a look at the weather conditions for tonight and the day ahead. It's over to the weather desk for the latest.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the weather desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. Now, we're still expecting the effect of the trough that's sitting over that interior of the Northern Cape, still causing instability as we move towards Gauteng, Limpopo and Mpumalanga. We're expecting some rainy conditions for tonight. And also an onshore flow is expected over the mother city, causing a 30% chance of showers and rain for tonight. Looking at conditions for tomorrow, we start to see a little bit of intensifying. That's why we see this 60% chance of showers and thunder showers over parts of Mpumalanga, Limpopo, and also KwaZulu-Natal. Still isolated over Gauteng for tomorrow. That onshore flow that we've been seeing over the mother city now expected over the southern parts of the country, causing a 30% chance of showers and rain for tomorrow. Still clear as we move towards the Northern Cape for tomorrow, stretching into parts of Free State. Looking at our warnings for tonight, we're expecting some strong winds as we move towards the coast over the Western Cape. It is a level 1 warning of some damaging winds and damaging waves over that coast for tonight and also for tomorrow. A little bit of runaway for fire conditions are expected over that interior of the Northern Cape, stretching into parts of Free State, and also where we had that 60% chance of showers and thunder showers, we do expect a level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm. Remember, these severe thunderstorms can be accompanied by large amount of small hail, heavy downpours which can lead to flooding in places, and also possibilities of strong damaging winds and lightning. Overnight temperatures, it is going to be a cool night over most of the country. We are talking 12 over Sandland, 20 over Upington, Johannesburg will be dropping down to 16 for tonight, 21 over Musina, Durban at a minimum of 23. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow, do remember we have those isolated showers and thunder showers over Gauteng. It is going to be a warm day over Johannesburg with a high of 30. Hot conditions over Musina and Parabora with an average of 36. Upington also expecting scorching temperatures for tomorrow with a maximum of 36. Remember, it is going to be a clear day over Upington, stretching all the way into Sandland and the mother city. The mother city peaking at 25. Moving towards the southern parts of the country over George and also at Kabeja, we're expecting an average of 24. Durban at 28. Moving into the interior, it is going to be a warm day over Bethlehem with a high of 30. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
That's where we park it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's meet again next time. It's good night for now. God bless. Pula.